keep saying we still need a way to delete and color the primitives using the menu, but I still haven't gotten to it, so maybe we can make more progress today. So we need to add a delete menu. I would like to move the primitives into tools. So let's see, because you can have tools. Under tools, you can have like primitives, but then you can also have out here delete, color, and maybe the pen tool, the like thicken, whatever. So you can select one of these, and these actually become selected. Like they stay selected. That way you can create a whole bunch of these things by clicking. Okay, so let's start with refactoring into this menu. Let's try it. So we've got our menu manager, and at the top level we have the main, which is actually a wrapper for everything else. And under main we have the no. So this is the menu manager, is the menu and the mic callback. And when you click on menu, it displays the main. Which is not here. But then it will receive messages about which place you want to browse. It does that where? What does that do? It does that here under observables, menu page. And then it will call state to controls, which looks at, so if you have this opened, it looks for the menu page value, and then it will render that. Okay, that seems fine. Let's just make a tools one then. So we'll create a tools endpoint, return new menu tools. We can pass orchestrator, I guess. I'm not sure if we need it. Menu tools. So let's go to pages, create tools. We can base this off of the about, I guess. Tools. We'll call this menu tools. And we'll import this. Okay. So now we have menu tools, and we need to add that to main so that it'll show up. So we've got, let's replace primitives with tools. And call this tools. And manager will have tools. Okay, so what does this look like here? It's going to look like this. And so this practically means that I can edit. It's like tools somehow belong to editing. And this toggle is more about moving stuff, right? So this toggle is more about the move gizmo. When I turn this on, I get this move gizmo, which I won't need in VR because if you allow editing, then you can just grab stuff. Although we can just enter the edit place because this gizmo is still on, so yeah, we need a way of saying that we're editing the scene. And maybe the gizmo only works in 2D. Back and toggle editing sort of means that these gizmos are always on. Alright, let's leave that for later. Let's just finish up with tools. So we'll put tools and let's make a delete button then. So we're in tools. So this name is the name of this div is div tools, and we'll go back to main, and the first tool will be a select delete tool. I'll have a callback, and then this will be, oh no, this is the, oh okay, no, this is back to main. The next line is back to main callback. We'll have another one of these. This will be select delete tool. Select delete callback. So this will be delete. And what does this do? Let's have it. We need to maybe populate an observable with what the selected tool is. So let's say it does nothing so far. Console log, selected tool is delete. Callback is required. Where was this? Callback is required. Callback is not in function. Alright, what? Click this. Click this. Okay, so it's happening on the tools page. Oh, I need to call this callback. Okay, selected tool is delete. So, if we remain on this page and the tools are open, then I don't need another observer. I can just say that there is a selected tool. So public selected tool is, let's just say it's a string, or it's the delete tool. And this selected tool, let's say, is delete. Then when you jump in here, why don't we create a function that's called set tool. So this set tool given set tool given the tool name, the string, and then you'll say that this selected tool is tool name let's just make this a string. So we set it. Call const set tool callback, and it takes the tool name, and then we will return a function that will call this dot set tool to tool name. just do set tool callback delete. And then, okay, so that sets that. It sets the tool. This fights with the moving tool, because if you can click anything and just make it go delete, then it seems like you should have a move tool. Move, scale, rotate. I kind of like that better. So let's say it's a transform tool. Transform. I think we want to set more than these arguments. So we want to return make tool args. You have the tool name, but I actually want to return something else. I want to return arguments like name would be select the tool name tool, and then the callback is this, and then I want to set kind of the border. So how do we check that? There's the Babylon.js so what is A made of? A is a kind of GUI text block, and it has a GUI button. So in both cases we merge, let's see, properties, GUI button, and properties. Yeah, we merge all the properties. So of a button, Babylon GUI in fact, do we have a, that doesn't have a border, but let's see. Maybe we can embolden the text or something. Text block, text wrapping, outline color. That'll do. Outline color. Outline color white. Yes, let's do that. So pass it the outline color. So outline color. Actually, is this a... or button. Hi there, whatever button. One dot. Let's see, either border or color is red. Okay. What about background? Yeah, background color. Background is that'll do. So let's say that the background if if tool name so this is what's going to be executed when you no, this gets executed when you do that. So set tool will probably have to do something here. Background color probably can't do anything here. So maybe this is enough. Okay, slight reduction. Ah. Make ours transform. Ah. Make delete. Callback set tool, so console.log setting tool to tool name. Okay. So how do we highlight which one is selected? So at this point, this dot get child by name. Let's try to find it with this kind of pattern. And let this be child. And we'll try to console log this. Console log child. Nothing and nothing. Okay. This. I need to color something on it, but I can't get a reference to it. So we have this link, and I want to add a border when it's selected. So we want to add where the new tool gets selected. If we had the old tool, we could change it. I think we can. It's just sort of embedded here, right? If we just kept a reference here, this is the selected tool by key, but you could have the GUI references, so public tool, the tools arsenal is here. And so when you make I think maybe you can make the whole tool here. Just make the tool by the tool name. So to start off, let's say that this tools is blank, and here it is just, say, any. And we'll say make a tool, so we'll return this whole thing. Copy. So let's just say make tool, given the tool name. Let's say the args, let args equals this, const args, and return, or this is the tool, so tool is this args, and tool name. So now we have a tool, and we want to stick this into this tools. The key is tool name, and the value is the tool, and return the tool. So for both of these, we would just say make tool for transform, make tool for delete. And now, if you change the tool, I can reference the tool inside the object. So you say, I want to select that thing. So first you deselect that. So if this selected tool exists, then this tools, this selected tool dot background equals, let's say, just gray, which is something like then you assign the new selected tool, and then you say that do this, but you say that it's highlighted to red. Ooh, ooh, nice. So they started off as gray. Always they're gray. So you can jump into tools, delete tool, transform tool. That's fine. We'll fix that later. So yeah, that's the selected tool. Now, when we're in transform, we want to enable the gizmo so you can move these things around. And when we delete, we disable the transform, and then anything you click gets deleted. And there should be one for color, which may need to drill down one step. So you have tools, delete transform, logs, and then I don't think we need this anymore. Because this just keeps the whole edit thing on permanently, where, I mean, that might be useful if you're like, so maybe you could add it here, you could toggle the transform. Yeah, you could toggle the transform so that you could kind of do this kind of stuff. Then if you, but the problem is, yeah, if you go to delete, what happens to the transform? You can't have these on both at the same time, because I'll delete and the transform, this whole gizmo will be left. So I'm okay leaving this on, because in VR, I think you can, as long as you can edit the, access the edit page, then you will be able to move it in VR. And this is really more of a 2D kind of convenience. So I think we can get rid of that. Okay, so what happens now? So if the tool is, do we need to, let's see what happens with the edit toggle. So that happens in main, right? This edit element. So we basically said this editing true or false. And then we had considerations for when to remove that callback. So let me grab this and come over to tools. So we're setting the tool. And let's just do if statement. If the tool name is equal to transform, then do this. And so we don't have to look at this. We'll just say editing is true. that's all we need. And then if you had a selected tool, first of all, if this selected tool, if you have a selected tool, and if this selected tool is equal to tool name, don't do anything. Just return. But if the previous selected tool is equal to transform, then you should say that you're no longer editing, because you must be changing away from it. So we'll send a message to say false, we're not editing. And editing, setting this to true and false should toggle the gizmo, because we have the collaborative editing manager that is here listening for a true false value, which will toggle this gizmo thing on and off, and listens for the pointer pick. So here we go. If we go into tools and I go to transform and I click to reload, go over here, so going to transform, can I pick? Still can't pick. Okay, so let's see. Let's go into tools. So make tool. We'll call this set tool. Let me just make sure. This set tool, console log set tool to tool name. Okay, I'm lacking a message here. And so are we saying we never get here? I find that hard to believe because we're changing the color here. So where's my console log? Where? Initial value. So we have here edit element. Let's just take this away. The edit is not presented. Okay, it doesn't seem like our changes are compiling. Let's examine our errors. Found one error. Pages tools error. Where is it? Oh, here. Okay. Okay, got the change. Go into tool, transform. Yes, I'm selecting this transform. I go to delete. Very good. Vector transform. Yes. Okay. Let's hook up delete then. So delete should be pretty straightforward. But I do kind of like this ability to send a message to say, hey, we're in kind of delete mode. Observables editing. It's almost like you would like edit mode is delete, transform, or whatever. Pointer observable, that's what checks what's editable. Oh, yeah. Collaborative edit manager. If we leave it in transform and come back, what happens? Because, okay, we leave it in transform, then we go back, when we come back, we're not in transform, but our transform is still on. It's a bit weird. Or at least this should show that it's still selected, but it is not a value that persists outside of that class. So we might need to change it into edit mode. So I think I'm okay with doing that. So let's see, let's go Signal Hub. Right now we have some observables that have persistent values. That way if you close the menu, it still knows what mode it's in. We can keep this, call it editing, and instead of a boolean, we can make it either be transform or delete. And let's say that the original mode is just transform. So where does this break? We have some errors. Also, so main is broken. Let's go to main. Element I do not think we need this. We'll comment all that out. What else is broken? Tool tools. Where's the tools? Down here. Okay, so we'll be setting next. Okay, so this undoes it. So well, I guess you can just set what the new tool name is. So we don't have to check what the previous one is. We just say signal hub dot observables editing next becomes the tool name. So tool name as transform or delete. I gotta make that better. And then this one will be actually regardless. We'll just put this at the bottom. Doesn't matter what the. We'll just say this. Okay. So what else is broken? No errors. What about the collaborative editor? This is subscribing to the value. So, okay, so if the value is transform, then turn it on. All other cases, turn it off. Oops. Tools, transform, on, down, down. Now, I go back, I come back here. It doesn't know that it's transform. So we need to kind of color it when we make the thing, because it's still on until it's not. Okay? Set tool delete should have taken it off. Hold on. So it is off. Eh? Let me see what we're getting here. Equal to transform. Observables editing value. Console.log. Collab editor got. What did we get? We got value. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, we set the initial value to be transform on. That's right. Let's just make a type for an edit mode. Export type edit mode, and it can be either transform transform or delete, or maybe none. Okay, so if you have this edit mode, then I can import it into, let's see, tools, sorry, Signal Hub, under the observable. We'll make this a behavior subject of edit mode, and this will be edit mode as well, and this will be starting off with none. And in my collaborative editor, if we get a value of transform, yeah, that'll be fine. What else? Then in tools, this selected tool is can be a string or it can be null. So this is null to begin with. No, actually it is yeah, get value of Signal Hub, observables, editing, get value. So that's the selected tool. So we'll do this unless it's none. If tool name which we won't make that. Tool name you could just make that null. You don't have to call it none. Signal Hub, go back. Let's say edit mode. Okay, so this can be null. Null. And edit mode support null. So then when we get back to the tools, default selected tool will probably be null. And we're making the tools for transform and delete. And we're going to set the tool. So if there's a selected tool, right, if there's a selected tool and the tool is already the tool name, return, otherwise change the previously selected tool to this kind of light gray color. The selected tool becomes a new tool name, assign the new background color, and then say, here's the new tool name, which is edit mode. And this is an edit mode as well. Set the tool. Tool name is make tool. Is an edit mode. Okay. So here's a menu. Here's tools. Can't select this. Transform. Yay! You can do that. pan around. Once I do this, it breaks out of that mode. If I go back and I come back in, I don't know what's selected. So how can I color it, even though it should still be selected? So if I go out of tools, and like look at logs, like I'm still here. This is still on, but I want to go to tools. You know what? I can't unselect this. So transform is on. That's the only way to turn it off. If I leave here, I think you should just say none is selected. That's probably the easiest thing. So go to the tools, and we can say on dispose. So in the constructor, this on dispose observable add that signal hub observables editing next should be null. And now if we tear down the menu, we'll be tearing down the tool as well. So if we go to transform, if I go back, yeah, that's gone. Which makes it clean, right? So if we go into delete, do we want a delete tool? I think it could help. So we have a collaborative edit manager. Maybe we could just put it in here. This is a lot of code just to turn on the gizmo manager. Right, you're sending through all the gizmo stuff though. So this is kind of like the transform. Collaborative edit transform manager. Let me move this into collaborative edit transform. So collab edit, and then we'll make a file for transform, and then move this collaborative, okay, copy. We'll paste this and rename this as the collaborative edit transform manager. And let me do a quick fix here. Add all missing imports. And so where are we using this manager? Whoops. Yeah. Okay, so obviously in an own class. So this one, want to rename collaborative edit manager to collaborative edit transform manager. there's that. And then there's the one in main, which we moved this out of main and into tools, so I don't think we need this anymore. Don't think we need the toggle anymore. And this old class, I don't think we need this anymore. Hope it works. So we just move some files around, should still work. Go transform, 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 delete, okay. And transform again. Okay. Now what about delete? So you do this and you say delete. Should you like make it select and delete? Or you have the delete tool? Let's make it the delete tool. Okay, so okay, so let's make a delete thing. Delete, and let's just maybe export class collab edit delete manager and constructor, and we're going to need to listen to signal hub and observables editing subscribe. So when this says if the value is delete, then let's just say this on, else this off. What does on do? On should listen to something, right? So we're going to listen to click. So we'll do this. We have a pointer observable. So public pointer observable, which is a Babylon observer, right? Okay. And so we need this scene. How did you get it? How does this get it? We got the scene. Fine, give us a scene. Give us the scene. Alright, so every time you pick, if the thing you picked matches editable, then this, let's say, delete mesh. So we've got to have a delete mesh method. Okay, off. What does off do? Off should clean up. Remove the observer. So pointer observer, remove it. That's it. Okay, and that should do it. So what does delete mesh do? Well, we send a message. So we do signal hub outgoing dot emit spaces API. The value is so let me look for spaces API. Spaces API. I didn't realize that this argument was on the selected mesh ID. Modify component. Yes, modify component. So what is the spaces backend function here? Added entity with broadcast. It should be like something like delete with broadcast or something. Delete entity with broadcast. Takes the space and filters. So you would need the ID of the entity. Entity ID, delete entity with filters, get rid of the filters. Okay, so you don't need an object, you just need an object with ID and the filter ID. So I think, given this example here, we're doing something like this. Control copy. Is anyone doing something like delete component? What was it? Delete entity with broadcast. So we're only doing it in Elixir, nothing on the front end, so this will be the first one. Back to the manager. Where's the manager? Here we go. Here's your sample. So we're going to delete component with broadcast, and it's going to be mesh ID going to be a filter, so it's going to be ID and mesh ID. Okay, let's add some debug output. So on here, oh wait, we didn't even install this thing, right? So tools, we're gonna have to bring in the scene manager. I think the scene manager created the collaborative whatever. So where's that being created? I think it is created after create scene. Yeah, we create the collaborative editor. So let's also create the delete manager collab delete manager equals new collab edit delete manager this scene. So what now? Import everything as Babylon from Babylon.js. Scene manager, collab delete manager. Public collab delete manager is a type of collab edit delete manager. So it's instantiated, and now it should be listening to messages. So if you go delete, set the tool to delete, doesn't do anything. I've got some errors here. Delete component with broadcast 2 is undefined or private. Did I say delete component? Delete component. I meant delete entity. Argument error. So you get an ID with this. Payload is args. That. Let me see the channel space channel. So module function array or list of arguments. So args was this, an object with ID and the thing, and that would have been the second argument. Oh, but it needs to be transformed into a keyword list. How are we calling this from GraphQL? Space resolver, when we try to delete an entity, get space, we call delete entity with broadcast. Just requires the name. Name. So this is not compatible with the front end because this is a list of tuple. It's a name, it's a keyword list. List of tuples, first one being a symbol, second one being a value. Delete entity with broadcast. So if this thing is an object, it calls delete entity with filters, and this does repo get by. So if we sent this thing, being the entity ID, so it can delete by anything, ID or name, but it needs to be a keyword list. So if it's an object, and okay, this filter just gets added in here. So if filters is an object with ID blah blah blah, then we should help it out a little bit. So delete entity with broadcast if you have the space, and you do have ID with the entity ID. Let's just change that to delete entity with broadcast, but then we'll put the space here, and the filters will be ID and entity ID, like that. So if I go to the test, spaces test, and I'm looking at deletion, delete entity with broadcast like this, or delete entity with input from front end, might look more like this. So if we start our server, we get tools, delete, delete, Yes. Oh, I think I might be blocking here and here. I can't adequately pick the thing I want to delete here. Unless they're not tagged. Let's output what we're deleting. So in the delete, what is it? Manager or something? Collab, edit, delete. Yeah, there we go. This is pointer pick. You can console log the event. So we're in a delete mode. Type pointer event. I guess I want pointer pick event. Okay, to pointer pick event E. And pick info. Picked mesh. Yeah, I got the sphere. Mesh, and is it editable? Console.log attempting to delete mesh. Okay, so we're not sending it down here. In fact, we're not getting any pointer pick here. Oh, there's it. Okay, delete. Okay, oh, it's gone. Delete. Oh, it's gone. Delete. Delete. Okay, these are good. All right. Some more. Okay. Delete. Delete. I'm gonna bring some things back. Oh, I need primitives. So I need primitives and I need color in here. And transform's not going to work. Can't pick this thing. So, alright, made some progress. Next steps, put primitives and put color editor in here.